Hey everyone, Eric Nelson here once again, and thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. Well, I am back with another book review, which I will be reviewing Bill O'Reilly's Killing Jesus. Now, before I get into the actual book subject, let me just explain to a couple people who might be confused by this, because in case you haven't seen my other book review on Christopher Hitchens's God is Not Great, where I had said that I was an where I said that I was an atheist and that I had praised the book. But I also said in that book review that I did not agree with everything that he said. Now, of course, nobody agrees with everyone 100%. So, even though I'm an atheist, that doesn't mean that I cannot like a book like this. Especially because of the author, Bill O'Reilly, and like Christopher Hitchens, I don't agree with everything Bill O'Reilly says, but I think he is a very t- t- talented author. So whenever he releases a book out, especially in his series of, or is it a series? Well, I guess it is a series because he wrote Killing Lincoln and Killing Kennedy, and now it's killing the old Jesus Christ himself. So, anyways, even though I have said, and I still am an atheist, I was really eager to read this book when it first came out, and now that I've read it, I can say that, like the other books, Killing Lincoln and Killing Kennedy, I like this book a lot. Now, of course, do I agree with it, or do I agree with a lot of it? No, but I was entertained. So, but of course, I don't think that this is a 100% fairy tale. Because I don't have proof that it's not real. So I just sort of took it as an entertaining piece, or as like his other books, I took it as a historical thriller. Well, maybe more thriller than historical, you know. But you be the judge on that. So, anyways, how the book begins is actually a real interesting way, because now I don't know about all of you, but I never was fully aware of how old uh, Jesus was when he was crucified. So in the beginning, he says, like in his other books, like how long the person has left to live. Well, depending upon where he begins the book, but he actually begins the book on the on the birth of him, which he says the man with 36 years to live. So now I can only speak for myself. I was not aware that he was 36 years old when he was crucified. So, and then after we are informed within that one sentence, he talks about the details of the virgin birth, and how and like who is there and what the circumstances are, and actually and once again, I was not fully aware of this, but when he was born, it was a real there was a lot of guards, and it was a real hush hush thing, yet a lot of people knew about it. So, well, because they knew, it was sort of hinted at, like this was the birth from, like this was the Son of God, and that he was going to be, and he was going to do, like many great things, but that at the same time he would be a real conflicting person where you weren't sure as to whether he was as to if he was like a good or evil. So that was that was actually a real entertaining beginning. And then in the second chapter, he actually sort of takes a different turn where we actually go into the time of the assassination of Julius Caesar. And you really don't know why, but towards the end of that part, you sort of realize, because if you kind of now if you're into reading about Caesar or Jesus, you kind of see that both of their both the assassination of Caesar and the crucifixion of Jesus is sort of similar, because they are surrounded by enemies, and they come up with lies on why they should assassinate these people. And it's all, and of course it's all based on lies or conspiracy theories that of course are not real, or maybe they are, or maybe they just hate the person so much that they really believe that they are evil. So 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 I thought that was kind of an interesting move on his part. And then we go back into, and then after that part, we go back into the time of Jesus, and oh, excuse me. And then we sort of like follow kind of like what is known within the media, where he would heal people, and then and then also parts of his early life, right after his birth. And then we sort of see why certain people felt that he was evil, which of course led to a lot of people going behind his back and saying, we need to get rid of this guy, and then of course people who used to be followers of him and people who would like him, he eventually turned the other cheek, and then would eventually be helpful in his crucifixion. But also, unlike, now I haven't read the entire Bible, so I don't know if the violence in here is the same as it is in the Bible, but when it comes up to his crucifixion, and of course within the assassination of Caesar, whenever there's violence in here, it's in great detail. Sort of like how it was with the killing Lincoln, when we were into the Civil War scenes, or when he was assassinated. But this is in a lot more detail. Now I can handle that, but even coming from me, who I have read a lot of violent novels, this one, yeah, for a religious book, pretty violent. I mean, I'll give you one thing which is sort of known, but how he describes how at the after he had carried his cross up the hill, and where he fell for the last time, they didn't tell him that they were going to be giving him vinegar to drink. He thought that it was only water. So when it was vinegar, I mean, just the scenes of how they try to force it down him is just only, you know, just that one scene alone is a little surprising. And then, like, now, of course, I don't really want to give away the ending, but I'll put it in the in the description box below the video that I will reveal the ending. Well, you can sort of you can sort of guess the ending, but like if you haven't read this book, but in like at the end, it is just revealed that when they go to visit the body of Jesus, behind that, in that one stone cave, they see that the body isn't there, and then he ends it by saying, and to this day, his body has never been found. Now, well, that is the end, but then after that, he sort of like goes into the afterword, and and of like what happened to everybody afterwards. So, but a simple ending like that sort of like explains it all, because there have been many theories as to what happened to his body. Now, of course, people who believe in Christ, or people who don't, or people who believe in another religion, have their own theories. So I think it was a smart move on his part, just to end it like that. So now, okay, now as I said before, I just like to provide sort of like the back of the book type of a review, where you just see a small description there. But before I end the review, I want to say that I like how Bill O'Reilly kept his way of writing these books, where he sort of like writes it as if he's like a tour guide, showing us, or like a writing in great description of what this looked like, what that person looked like. And also he kind of like and as with the other killing books, he sort of like he sort of like takes educated guesses on what the people think, or like how they feel, or what they're about to say, and how they say it, and what their reaction is. And I've always liked that style of writing. So, and as I said before, I am an atheist, but I liked this book, not as a factual thriller or a historical thriller, but only as a thriller, or just as an entertaining piece of literature. So whether you're an extremely religious person or not, like me, or I just say that this book is for everyone. And just let me end the review by saying that in all the interviews that he gave to promote this book, Bill O'Reilly actually said that he wrote the book because because God came to him and said, "Write the book." Well, if his imaginary friend said so, and as long as it doesn't hurt any putty, hey, why not? And of course, it entertained me, and it entertained a lot more people too. So I hope you I hope all of you would get this book if you want to, whether you're a believer or not. And I hope to see you all at the bookstore or the iBookstore.